Excuse me. When you start recording and then a burp pops up. Hello there. Welcome back to the Doctor Who Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not. We're on Series 3, Episode 5. 4. Daleks in Manhattan. Yep, like I said, this was kind of foreshadowed when he mentioned the Daleks. I didn't say it in the last one, but I said it when I was watching the episode. We were talking about the Time War, and he mentioned the Daleks. Oh, you hadn't met them in the next episode. You didn't meet them in the next episode, actually. Wow. So we are traveling to the regular New York this time. I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to have two episodes that was in. Oh, technically, the last one wasn't New York. It was New York, but this is also New York, actual New York, Statue of Liberty and everything, and we see some familiar faces. One specifically that I mentioned in the last episode, but yeah, our pre-title sequence has to do with this guy named Laszlo, who has a girlfriend named Tallulah, who is a flapper dancer there, and he gets taken by someone, some demon. And then we credits, and then after the credits, the Doctor and Martha, they show that they landed in real New York in the 1930s on Liberty Island, or Ellis Island, Liberty Island, whatever it's called. Statue of Liberty. Yeah. And, yeah. So, this is shortly after the stock market crash of 1929. This is 1933, so it's 4 years removed. So, I guess, and I didn't know this till watching this episode, apparently, like nowadays when the economy thing happens, people are like, oh no, we're losing money. But no, there's not many people that are just like out on the streets living. Like here, they have a place called Hooverville where people are just living inside Central Park, which I don't know. It's just an itch. Hold on. Poor people living in this home, basically a hobo town, basically is what it is. Homeless people living there, fighting for food, and in charge of this place is one Mr. Solomon, who you may recognize as Captain Panaka from the Star Wars prequels. I think he was in the first two, and then not in the last one. But yeah, you may recognize him. It's there. Him is that the there's this big business guy who is there building the Empire State Building. Yes. And so he has these workers working on it, and he says that the guys in charge, wink, wink, want them to add stuff to the top of the building. A little point thing that's on there. They want to add stuff to it. We don't exactly know in this part what that is for. At least I don't think we do. But they're adding to it. And this guy is like a real New Yorker. Talks like this, you know what I mean? Forget about it. Don't D'Angelo. They the beaches. Where the beaches, you know what I mean? Come on. They kind of talk. New York talk. There's a lot of that, Especially because I think British people, it's easier to do that kind of talk than go straight English. Like, look at Christian Bale in Newsies. Real hoity-toity, talking like this and that, Gotta talk for New York. So, yeah. But what is going on here, really? There are these pig people. They say that people are getting kidnapped from Hoovertown. But they also show it as people are getting offered jobs and also disappear. I don't know. But yeah, Doctor seems to try to investigate this, and then the hoity-toity guy and some other people, they come to recruit. And the Doctor volunteers, so Solomon does too, and so does another character, well, Martha, but another character named Frank. Frank is played by Andrew Garfield. You may know as the Amazing Spider-Man, my personal favorite Spider-Man. That's right, kiss my butt. Kiss my hairy booty. He's my favorite. I think he's the best. Okay, but and again, to go back to when my son and I watched this, when they showed him, he's like, it's Spider-Man. But and this was one of the ones where I had to cut off, because at the end of each episode they do preview the next one. So this is one I had to skip to next to cut off, because I didn't want him to see Andrew Garfield. So yeah, his name is Frank. I often confuse it for Jack, but we already have a Jack. His name is Frank. So they volunteer. Apparently there's something that had in the tunnels, that sewer system tunnels, that they need people to unload stuff. That is very dangerous, like, in itself. Because, like, if you gotta go in and take stuff out, that is very dangerous to begin with. This is the 1930s, so anyone's looking for a job, I guess. But no, and of course is a ploy for them to get captured by these pig people. But the Doctor and Martha and Solomon seem to get away. Frank does not. And this is where they end up meeting Tallulah, because there's just a sewer thing in her dressing room for some reason. I don't know. Tallulah explains that her boyfriend Laszlo, the man that we saw at the beginning of this, has disappeared and stopped showing up. And yeah. Well, the Doctor and Captain Pinaka, or Solomon, they have a conversation. He's trying to figure out, pinpoint what this little thing is that he found. And he's like, well, you talk like that. Where are you from, Doctor? So Solomon decides he has to go back to Hooverville, to, cool the people down, because he's in charge. So he has to go back, leaving the Doctor there. While Tallulah's on stage, though, Martha sees a strange person chases after it, and she ends up getting captured. This is revealed to then be Laszlo, who was mutated into one of those pig creatures, but he didn't go, all the way. He was able to escape before he got completely configured. And as far as I can tell, because there's a point where they explain that the dim-witted people, the dumb people, get turned into the pigs, and then the smart people move on to what's called the final experiment, or whatever it's called. And she even goes, oh, that's ridiculous. He's the smartest boyfriend, he's the smartest guy I dated. And it's like, well, that probably explains why he got away. They thought he was low intelligence, but he's not really. I don't know. Should also mention the hoity-toity guy also showed to have good intelligence, so they had to take him for the final experiment, and they put him inside the revealed to still be alive Dalek sect of the cult of Skaro. Remember, the cult of Skaro were those who were locked away in that giant silver ball thingy in Ghosts and Doomsday. So, Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. Yeah. Apparently, they survived. I love the Doctor's response. They survived. They always say, they survive and I have to suffer. It is true. How many times have the Daleks died? Time War. They were extinct in the very far future by the Ninth Doctor. They destroyed an army of ghosts in Doomsday, and now one of them survived. Dalek Sec, who gets transformed into something. We'll get to it. So, just to talk about the set dressing here. So this is clearly like where they film stuff, Cardiff or wherever they film stuff. But they really did their best to make it look like New York. I don't think they actually filmed in New York, did they? Maybe they did. Maybe they did. And how would they get to film in Central Park, though? That's a little... We're going to set up this whole thing to look like Hooverville from back in the 30s. Yeah. And you can see these people they're struggling, you know. The way that Tallulah talks about, if I don't give a good performance, then I'm going to Hooverville. It's like they really are struggling for a job. So yeah, you get that sense of the time where, you know, you look at now and everybody is doing pretty well for themselves. There are some people out there that aren't. I know that. But people are doing pretty well for themselves for the most part. But this was a time when everything just came crashing down and it hurt inside. And no, I'm not talking about Hulk Hogan, but I'm just saying it did. So Hogan responsible for was he alive in 1923? 29? I don't know. Probably not. He's not 100. He's like 70, 80, whatever. Joe Montana, the football player? Worker number 1. Joe Montana. I don't think it was a football player. Anyway, the doctor eventually finds them. Well, the doctor chases after who we find is Laszlo. And Tallulah's with him, and they realize it's Laszlo. And they just so happen to find everyone. And the doctor just sneaks in. Now, they know what he looks like. So I was thinking, oh, they don't know what he looks like because he regenerated. And I remembered, no, the last time that he saw them was in Doomsday. So they know what he looks like. So he just sneaks in. He's like, shh, don't draw attention to me. And he's like, you need to ask the questions. And she's like, me? He's like, I can't draw attention to myself. But he's just standing there. So Martha's the one that demands to know what's going on. It's the next evolution. Maybe it's the final evolution. Whatever. Of the Dalek race. There are only these 4 Daleks left. So if I was the doctor, I'd just start blasting away. I don't think he has anything to blast. He has no weapons. But I'm just saying. There are times where the doctor says, I'm not going to use weapons. And it's like, weapons are becoming so much handy right now. Handy so much right now. Like, just blast the 3 remaining Daleks. You know? But no, the hoity-toity guy walks out. He's now got the Dalek, it's basically the little squid Dalek thing that's inside a Dalek, and it's his head now. And he goes, he still talks like a Dalek too. I am a human Dalek. And that's when the episode ends. Yes. It's the 2-parter. Yep. This is a 2-parter. And I also liked when we watched through these, my son, when he would do that, he's like, He's like Eric from Blind Wave. I watched their reaction videos, and every time he's like, this is a 2-parter! And they started to catch on. He's like, Aaron, not much is happening. These are the 2-parter. I think so! Like, he would catch on, because there's not a lot, because you got to split the plot between those 2 episodes, so not a lot really progresses in the episode, but it always does feel like with these 2-parters that not a lot happens in the first part, and then everything just happens in the second part, which we'll kind of get to when I talk about the Harry Potter movies eventually, later on, next year, but, yeah, it's just building to something, and that showing the human Dalek at the end is that something that's going to continue on to the next episode. So, yes. But yeah, this is fine. It's better when paired with the second part, when you got the full story. I always say that about 2 parts. Like, sometimes you need the whole story to actually see what the whole... You need both parts to see what the whole story is. I kind of understand how you feel about it. But yeah, this was good. Now, I haven't been given rankings. I don't remember if I do that. I know I've been doing that with Smallville, but I don't think I do that with this one. So I hope not. This would be a 3.5 TARDISes if I did. I don't know. That doesn't even sound like I do that. But yeah, 2.5 TARDISes. It's middle, you know. But we're about to get into some stuff in the next one. Evolution of the Daleks. Yes. Also, I wish they didn't have the Dalek in the name. Like, there's this whole speech that he gives, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, he's giving it to Tallulah, and I'm like, this would be something that Martha should be around for. And then when Martha hears the name Dalek, she's like, Dalek? I'm like, that's right. He did tell her story in the last episode, so she knows about the Daleks. She just doesn't know what they look like, and now she do. So, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this episode of McConnell's? Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.